Thank you. Okay, next deputant, Ryan's, okay, 247, Elizabeth Block. Elizabeth Block, 247, Elizabeth Block. Okay, we'll move on. 248, David Hewitt. David Hewitt, 248. David Hewitt. Yeah, okay, there we go. No. Marty Holland Reed. It got switched by the clerk's office.
That was the right one.
All right. Okay, sir, you got 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of the committee, staff, members of the public. My name's David Hewitt. I'm a resident living in Ward 27 here in the City of Toronto. I'm also a father of an 8-year-old son who frequently visits Riverlow Farm and other beautiful parks throughout our city. City employees, children, parents, the elderly, and residents have been unfairly targeted by certain councillors in the power structure in this city. Once again, I would like to thank the consultants of KPMG for dispelling the myth that the City of Toronto is overflowing with vast amounts of grading. My praise for these highly paid consultants ends there. It's disappointing that the report does not incorporate the input of 13,000 Torontonians that took the time to participate in the consultants' process, or that no consideration was given to the devastating social impacts these cuts are sure to cause. Earlier this year, my union commissioned an economics poll determined the importance of public service to Torontonians. Not surprisingly, the polling revealed over 70% of respondents would rather see an increase of property taxes than service cuts. Great public services are one of the reasons Toronto is continuously cited as one of the most livable cities in the world. Perhaps during an election, our populist mayor knew how important service were to residents, and this is why he pledged to balance the books with no cuts to services. Guaranteed. Contained within the report before you today are a number of the options that, implemented, could cause irreparable harm to many services that residents enjoy. For one, grass cutting. Part of our workers do it. Local 416, or my union, did a pilot project years ago. Well, not years ago, about 3 years ago. Saved millions of dollars to this city. Reduction of tree canopy is a bad idea of a city. Trees are the biggest environmental asset to the city as they produce oxygen, take in carbon monoxide. They also enhance any street you live on and parks throughout this beautiful city of ours. Reduction of environmental programs, solid waste collections done by public service employees, your employees, Mr. Mayor, transportation service and many other services contained in the KGM report is. Another example, back in 2007, my union worked with city staff to contract back in garbage in the former city of York, which saved this city millions. By working with city staff, we can help you, Mr. Mayor. We have and we will.
Thank you. Sorry, your time's up. Sorry. Go ahead, Councillor Davis. You got a minute.
Thank you, Mr. Hewitt. I believe there is a committee called the Labour Management Steering Committee in which you are to meet with the mayor and the senior staff to talk about a variety of things. Have you had an opportunity to meet, to talk through either that committee or any other committee to talk about your ideas for efficiencies?
No.
Would you welcome an opportunity to meet with the mayor and or the senior staff to talk about your ideas for efficiency?
Absolutely. We're open to all kinds of efficiencies and savings for the taxpayers.
And you're aware that KPMG has actually not consulted with many of the senior staff. Have they consulted with you?
No.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Uh, 249, Sarah Jane Greenway, or Greenway. I don't know if they're missing an A in this last name here, but 249, Sarah Jane Greenway. No, don't see it. Okay, we're going to move on. Next page. Next page, next page, next page. Okay, we're on a 250 now. 250 was crossed out. Sheila Bradick. Okay. 251, Linda Chamberlain. All right, great. Thank you. You got 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Chamberlain, and I am here on behalf of the Alliance for a Poverty-Free Toronto. As you know, poverty is a serious program in the city. In Toronto, 21% of families live in poverty compared to the national average of 12%. Torontonians rely on a mix of community services and supports to help ease the damaging effects of poverty. Other agencies provide shelter and safe spaces for people in very dangerous situations. Many help to ensure that those with mental health issues can find the support and recovery treatment they need. Still others work with families and adults backing up their efforts to get themselves out of poverty. Altogether, this network of community service helps Torontonians to stay healthy, and they make the city more livable for all. Creating a city which is livable attracts employers. Employers create jobs, and more jobs mean more people contributing to city's tax base. Investing in community services gives people a chance to make the best of themselves. In my case, I can truthfully say it was the community supports that I've received that have allowed me to become the person I am today and to be a protective influence in my community. If you give people a chance, they'll blossom and grow. For thousands of people in Toronto today, for people living in and facing poverty, these services provide that vital influence. There's a lot of talk these days about respecting taxpayers. Well, respecting taxpayers also means getting returned on investment. If that's the case, that's exactly what the city gets when you invest in community services. And Rob Ford, I would like you to Google my name because I can tell you you're going to want to hire me because I'm going to help you make Toronto, to change Toronto to being a poverty-free for all Torontonians. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Okay, we're on to Violet Cardella, 252. No, sorry, no, that was Linda Chamberlain. Sorry, was that? Are you Violet? No, we haven't done Violet yet. No. No, okay, well, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Okay, Kathy Jonathan. Okay, come forward, Kathy, thank you. Okay, you have 3 minutes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor and councillors, thank you so much for this opportunity to tell you about my neighborhood library. Many of you will be familiar with the movie It's a Wonderful Life. It's the story of a man named George who is in despair, who questions whether it would be better if he'd never been born. An angel appears and answers in question. In fact, angel shows him how life in his town, how all the people his life has touched, and then those they touched and those their lives touched are sadder and poorer because George had not been born. That domino effect, this ripple that spreads out and out on the water, is how my local library works. I go to S. Walter Stewart near Coxwell and Cosborn, usually once a week. Often I can't find a seat or a parking space. This joint is always jumping. They recently expanded the parking lot. Early morning, midday, evening, weekday or Sunday, it is always packed. Who fills up these seats and aisles and bookshelves? Students, older and younger, researching, writing, studying for exams. That's expected, right? But then there are the seniors, lots of them, reading newspapers, working on the internet, talking to the librarians, looking for books or DVDs. Then parents with small children, both choosing their favorites from the stacks. Then new immigrants working with tutors. Then people unemployed, job hunting, or using the library's computers as a kind of office where they're unemployed. Then downstairs in the small public hall, I hear a piano recital. The hall is packed with parents listening to their children perform. And then there are authors reading from their books surrounded by fans. This joint is always jumping. What I've just described is like a large, messy family. Everyone from babies to golden oldies hangs out here for the books and the computers and the warmth in the winter and the cool in the summer. Clearly, this library is a center, a small heart in the neighborhood. If you only counted the number of books that went out and in, you'd be missing the main point. It's a center for many, many people where they don't have to buy anything, like a park where the main purpose is not to buy or sell trees. I go there to hunt for books on design, books on the Don Valley for a project for my horticulture class. I go there to write and read and mark papers. I pay taxes so all these people can use this library, and I am happy to do so. If we could take one person who goes to Walter Stewart regularly, say a senior, and take the library away, or charge mandatory fees, or cut the services and the hours, and see how their life changed, what might we find? Someone who now stays home or is more isolated, is more burdened to his children, has to buy books instead of borrowing them, misses the conversation.
Thank you, ma'am. Time's up. Sorry. Any
okay.
questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.